Welcome back to Whelen Software Walkthroughs and How-Tos. Today we will be talking about CenCom Carbide and the Properties page. On the Properties page, under the Properties section, you can enable and disable the button by checking and unchecking this input is enabled. We can select whether or not we want an activity tone to be played, which is an audible beep played every few seconds while the button is active. We can also check whether or not we want the standby button to be standby mute. Depending on the button or input selected, the properties list can change. For example, if we select slide switch 1, slide switch 2, or slide switch 3, we can see that we now get the options for hands-free activation, hands-free standby, and deactivate siren tones. You can change the switch type of buttons and inputs from press on, press off, press on, release off, security timer, which is a double press on, and variable timer, which you can set the time from 100 milliseconds up to 10 minutes. If the button has switch options, you can save the state so when you turn the vehicle off and back on, any button that has the save state checkbox checked and was on when the vehicle was turned off will come back on when the vehicle is restarted. If you have selected input 1, input 2, park, kill, or horn ring underneath additional inputs, you will have the option for a positive or ground switched electrical connection. You can change the name and the abbreviation of a button or input as long as the button or input does not have a macro applied to it. A macro is a function that programs the button or input with factory settings. You can choose the image label you want for the button in the software so that it will match the image label that you apply to the physical control head. On the Properties page underneath the Buttons section, you can turn on and turn off other buttons on the control head when you activate the selected button or input. If you have the TA flash button or the TA direction button, you'll be able to select the press or state you want the button to be in when it is activated. On the Properties page underneath the Outputs section, you can turn on and turn off any of the outputs. You can change from the default steady on pattern to a flash pattern of your choice. And you can set the phase and you can set the delay. With a flash pattern set, you can low power the output, reducing light head intensity. If the output is set to steady, you can check the cruise checkbox, setting the output to a cruise light intensity. If you want the flash pattern set on the output to be a pattern override, you would check the pattern override checkbox. You can simulate a pattern applied to an output by clicking on Simulate. On the Properties page under Tones, you can select the tone for the integrated siren, and if selected, the external siren amplifier. You can also preview siren tones before making a selection. Please stay tuned for our next episode. Thanks for watching.